G'day guys, welcome to another weekly developer update. This is CW and joining me once again is Armeanio. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Always excited to read through what the community is putting together. We've got, quite a great community that's building even outside of the core team that I absolutely, love to watch what they're doing. It's invaluable.
Yeah, there's a couple of updates within this weekly developer update, but then also on Twitter as well, with a couple of community members providing some open source tooling in different languages, one being Python and JavaScript. Ladopixel sort of doing some examples on the Python side, and I believe Ilya from dappstep is going to start doing some examples for dapp development on JavaScript. I think that's pretty cool.
It's amazing to see. Developers like that are really an invaluable resource in any ecosystem. So I have to give a shout out to both Lato and Ilya for the work that they put in. I think it's underappreciated and really just huge. It brings a lot of people in, not only on the developer side, but the user side as well. So that type of open source tooling just has my respect.
Yeah, by all means, it can be a bridge to bring a new developer into the ecosystem. They can see all that open source sort of frameworks there being put together in different languages. Also, shout out to Lato in regards to all the tutorials that he's putting together. So if you want to know little tricks and bits and pieces about the ecosystem, you can jump onto ErgoTutorials.com and learn how to start a wallet, or there's actually even an audio rendering of the Ergo manifesto in multiple languages. I think that's pretty cool resources as well.
Yeah, it's funny, whenever we had like mass traffic, you would always have a lot more newcomers showing up in the support channels, right?
Yeah.
So that type of guidance just is huge for adoption and helping people on board that may be new to this type of technology. So definitely big thanks to Lato for what he's done.
Yeah, most definitely. It's often sitting in the background, not needed until it actually is. And I think having all that resourcing sitting there ready for mass adoption, or just any individual user coming into the ecosystem to be able to sort of filter through that, it's great.
I would agree.
Okay, so jumping into the developer update, we can kick things off with MrStahlfelge. Do you want to take Mr. S, please?
Sure. So he's working on the Ergo Wallet App, porting it to desktop. That's going to be pretty nice to see. With the Appkit, he checked behavior for too many tokens bug that we had this week on Sigma Rust. Unfortunately, it did lead to some user having their NFTs burned, which, is always painful to see. Hopefully we, push a patch, which I know is already under development. And one thing I was pretty proud of is we actually had an NFT artist reach out and ask to mint and send, basically a duplicate to replace what was burned. I have to give a shout out to that project for stepping up and helping out the community.
Yeah, most definitely. And then other people within the community as well, they've been firing through NFTs into a wallet for them. So I hope every little sort of bit helps.
Well, community is ultimately the greatest value of any network. That's something that you can never just code. So MrStahlfelge is also in discussions with Morphic in terms to Mosaik and the Appkit. Those of you that don't know, the Mosaik framework is going to push applications into the wallet, which will give us that easy user interface from within the wallet, which is always big for adoption. It just makes things simpler.
Yeah.
For ErgoAuth, he's made some changes to the EIP. Apparently there were some shortcomings and he implemented those changes in the wallet. So great to see.
Yep, always moving fast, Mr. S. It's great to see. Moving on, we have Ladopixel, like we just sort of touched on ErgoTutorials. So the first in a series of tutorials for Python development. The idea is to explore first with ErgoPy with examples, and then do some the same tutorials but modifying it with the Appkit. So if you want to jump on there, there's a simple tutorial to send a number of erg with only 7 lines of code. I think that's pretty cool. It's often also in 2 different languages, so you can see that it's in Spanish and also English. So jump on to ergotutorials.com if you want to know more.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of community contributors that have built out, quite a diverse language set for those tutorials, which is amazing. Again, that's something you just can't code. Next, we have Morphic. He's been working on the Sigma state interpreter, preparing for 5.0. Looks like he's doing some cleanup in terms of our new costing mechanism. Looks like for the Appkit, he's also released version 4.0.10, which implements additional token asset balances and checks registers, and essentially will help prevent the same type of accidental bug or possible burn that we ran into this week. Looks like the Appkit misuse and dApps in the mobile wallet will have a little extra protection. He said in the Appkit, burning should be requested explicitly, and if not, then accidental burning should be detected and basically rejected, which is a great safeguard. Unfortunately, I believe that incident was somebody had more than 255 NFTs.
Yes.
And
it was over 3 boxes. I think there was 300 and 290, 96, something along those lines. And then trying to obviously sort of combine that into one box. There was some issue there.
Yeah, it's a big transaction. Unfortunately, I guess we needed guardrails there, and it looks like we're getting them up. So, hopefully nobody else suffers that same pain again. Looks like Morphic has also reviewed a couple PRs in Ergo, the Appkit, Sigma, some Ergo improvement protocols. Next step, the cross compilation of Sigma and all 3 Scala versions that he's working on. Great to see.
Yep. Busy man once again. And moving on, we have Greenhat, another sort of big update from him and his team. So on TimL, he's working on moving the contracts and parameter definitions to the config file on the Oracle core. Mosaik added a check that the wallet is unlocked on app launch, also on the Oracle core. And Greenhat himself is working on the fix for the accidental token burn that we've just been speaking about. So far has fixed the bug and implemented splitting the change into multiple boxes. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why the tokens were actually burnt, because it was too great a number of tokens sitting into a box or heading into a box. That's my understanding. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can jump into that pull request. Obviously, it's planning to merge and release the new version ASAP. So hopefully today, which would be a number of days past when this video is released. Then we're also working on that fix, spotted a couple of potential issues as well. So making a couple of improvements to those issues listed there, 593 and 595. Mainly to alter the transaction builder API to make the token burn explicit only when the caller asks for it. So the protocol, I believe at the moment, isn't determining whether the transaction's valid or not. It's just seeing if all the conditions are met. Then if it is a valid transaction, then it'll process it. Mm-hmm. And then just to review the result to option conversions in the code base, conversion is a box which made the accidental token burn possible. So thanks very much for that update, and working pretty promptly to fix that up.
That's great to see.
Moving on, we have Nemo and Nautilus.
Sure. So it looks like they have pushed version 0.4.4 with an emergency safeguard for token burning transactions to fail when using the send tab. So again, it's amazing we see a little bug, and suddenly you have multiple developers across the ecosystem pushing solutions, building guardrails. That's the beauty of open source code right there.
Exactly.
We've also looks like Nemo has refactored the transaction building and signing to allow for better validations. He's added a transaction review screen for transactions that make it through the send tab. And he's also working on the babel fee implementation and liquidity user interface in collaboration with Nitrum 147.
Yeah, and you have a little preview there of that transaction review as well. So I think that's P2P as well instead of just pay to script. So that's a nice little addition there. Moving on, we have Alex and the Ergo node. He's working on Ergo node in 5.0. So working on refactoring and fixing different issues on the P2P layer, namely those PRs and issues that he's got listed there. If you want to more information, jump on. And then Dexy and other matters. So discussed a little around stablecoin designs with Bruno from IOHK or IOG now. Found how to avoid burning USD in the pool when bank reserves are depleted. That's nice. Would have been loved to have been a fly on the wall for those conversations.
Yeah, I talked to him afterwards. Looks like Bruno is, putting together let's call it like an AGUSD foundation that's going to basically sample various implementations and kind of create a support network. So I'm pretty excited to see how that is built out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good initiative actually. Once again, sort of combining forces and driving innovation. Just finished some discussions and approved babel fees EIP. That's a big one. Actually approved it as well. Still discussing whether to add additional checks for the token burn once again to the node and Explorer, and going to review the Dexy contracts by scalahub. So maybe touch on a little bit about babel fees once again. So it'd be cool if, it is approved, so it's just a matter of implementing that sort of thing now. Obviously beneficial to GWAP GetBlok, and other sort of endeavors across the ecosystem.
It's even, I think, really beneficial to new traders, where let's say that I take a position where I move out of all of my Ergo, right? I think everybody has used ETH and suddenly they have no money for gas, right? And so now they're just stuck in basically a car with no fuel. And so then they have to reload gas into their wallet, which is a pain in and of itself, but gas fees float up and down. And so you may send enough for when you bought it, but then by the time it shows up and you're ready to go, the gas fees went up and you're stuck again. So having babel fees really does have a pretty big use case on the trader side as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've touched on it. I think it was last week or even in the Dark Cave miner side of things. So if you're just mining one direct token through a smart pool, obviously you need some erg there to be able to initiate a transaction and things like that. So having the babel fees there would be perfect for this sort of scenario. But then, like you said, many use cases for that.
Yeah.
Also, once again, another one jumping onto the end, just picking his brain in regards to the token burning issue and whether the protocol does actually enforce that, or the API, either the Explorer, checks that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I know that Alex tends to like to have the node as simple as possible and not build any, unneeded complexity, let's call it. So I know that generally he's going to say, okay, well, can we enforce it via the Explorer? And I guess we're going to have a community discussion and see where it lands.
Yeah, exactly. Open, transparent discussions, and everyone can have their say on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have BlitzTCG. Do you want to take those guys?
Sure. So BlitzTCG is building a card game on top of Ergo. Looks like they have a couple of updates to share. They've added a friends list that's fully functional and integrated with Firebase. It looks like they did some clever key value pairing for future use cases. And that's going to be getting makeover eventually and looking pretty good. Their artwork always impressive to look through. And it looks like the slider scroll UI that they put together works nicely with their assets. So if you want to see that, hop on Discord and check out their video.
Yeah, I love their assets that they're putting together, both the visual and audio side of things as well. So they're covering all bases. Moving on, we have dappstep Ilya. So he's added a new contract with dynamic variables. He's also got a video demonstration below. So if you want to look at that, you can. Should make the contract writing debugging experience very fun and easy. So the contract is editable also. That sort of ties into our little introduction as well in regards to the open source and multi-language examples of development throughout the ecosystem.
Yeah, so we have a new contract playground. I'm sure people will want to go and play on it.
Try and break it. So moving on, we have Luivatra.
Sure. So it looks like they are testing the staking contracts on the 5.0 testnet. Normally, they can compound around 50 stake boxes in one transaction before they got too high of a transaction cost. On testnet, they managed to get 165 before they hit that same max size. So that's a big improvement for them. Looks like could only seem to handle about 250-ish stake boxes per block, though. But maybe max block cost is too low on the testnet. Difficult to test within a 5-second block time, which right now the testnet is firing off blocks really quickly because everyone's playing with it and no one wants to, let's say, wait for one of these 7-minute, 10-minute blocks that every once in a while pops up on mainnet. So it looks like he's continued to work on the paideia contract design, and we'll see a draft tomorrow. So by the time this video comes out, there will be a draft live. Nice to see.
Yeah, and just on that as well, Kushti just mentions that the testnet block cost limit on the testnet is 1 meg, and on mainnet it's 8. So really significant improvement there on mainnet.
Yeah, and that just means that the performance, it should be much greater because you're going to have higher limit.
Note the word should. Obviously have to test in real world application.
You can't talk about what hasn't happened as though it's true, right?
Exactly.
Should, but once we have proof, then it does.
Exactly. Moving on, we have Koutelier with a comet update. Do you want to take those guys once again?
Sure, I'll deal with the comet team. Looks like they are going to support future updates for all the wallets that they're going to clone for security reasons. That's good to see. I'm
really good to hear that.
Yeah. Also today, they are going to launch their lottery NFTs. The NFT holders will earn comet token rewards from their lottery. The lottery will work like that. Now, I know the lottery is not yet built, but that is how it should work, hopefully. Any user will be able to buy a ticket with comet tokens twice a week. The smart contract will choose a random number or address. And if this number exists as a ticket, then the winner will earn 90% of the pool. The rest of the 10% will be divided 2.5% to comet token holders. 2.5% get burned. 4% go to the NFT holders, and 1% goes to their community treasury or team treasury. I'm not sure which, to be honest. The chances of picking a winner will be 10%. The distribution to the winner will be taken care of from the smart contract, but the other 10% will be taken care of with a script, possibly by a Comet team, unless there is a way to make a smart contract to do that automatically so that it's even more decentralized if anybody knows if this is possible, please let us know. So they've minted NFTs, they want to build a lottery, and they need help. So if there's anybody out there that wants to help these characters build their Comet NFT lottery, please contact their team and help them out.
The cool thing about the Comet guys, like, yes, we do have some fun with them and joke around and have some banter, but they are contributing to the ecosystem. Things like this, it makes it fun and enjoyable, and it's just not a token on a blockchain. They can have some fun with it. It's great to see.
No, they try. You know, there's a lot of dog coins out there that really don't even try. You know, they just like create the token and try to get people as excited. You know, Comet is trying to develop some stuff, and actually, if they do, that will be interesting to watch. You know, decentralized lottery, and who knows? Maybe, you know, that's going to be a first iteration. Maybe we'll see something that they do on NightOwl or something. You know, whenever you pick up experience, you grow a little bit. So I'm excited to see what they can do, and you know, I'm happy that they're contributing to the dev update. I hope somebody hops on, helps them out.
Yep, most definitely. Scrolling down, I believe, is that one of the NFTs, the 3D NFTs?
Yes, it's
a hairless Chow Chow. So moving on, we have MGpai with ErgoPy, just updating the Appkit jar to be compatible with testnet v5. That'll be helpful for anyone sort of wanting to jump on that side of things. And moving on, we have Cheese Enthusiast with the GetBlok updates. So on the subpooling, they've continued work on upgraded the Plasma-based protocol contracts. They actually have that sort of, I think that's live now, is it? I'm not too sure. I have to ask Karat. Making changes from the, yeah. And also making changes from the old contract design for the new one. And then on Plasma, working on adding support for the Appkit 4.0.10, adding more comments to better document the library. Once the 4.0.10 support is live, we'll be doing the same with more testing in V5 nodes to see whether further scaling improvements can help the subpooling contracts even further. I think even Alex retweeted their repo for the Plasma side of things. That's pretty cool.
Nice to see. Looks like next we have scalahub. He's been working on the Dexy contracts and completed the latest improvement, added it to the EIP. He's reviewing the Babel fees EIP, and he's updated the Oracle Pool 2.0 EIP contract to the latest version. So all of those are kind of coming to fruition, and you know, I'm looking forward to every single one of those being fully live.
Yeah, 3 big improvements actually, and have the core group basically focusing on that as a main priority. It's pretty cool to watch. Moving on, we have Jay the Ergod with NightOwl's update. On the front end, they've implemented a DApp connection with SafeW wallet, Safe Wallet, and Nautilus has full compatibility. Be announced soon on socials with the Ergo DApp connector. They improved the roulette styling and added roulette spinning sounds to make it look way more realistic and sound, obviously. Continued migration to Next.js for ease of future development. Then on the back end, continue working on NightOwl foundational code for back-end services, stabilize dev instances for continuous testing, moving to the new release model, dev staging production for more secure and streamlined workflow. So just obviously getting things a little bit more sort of professional on that front and getting real close to testing. It's awesome. And then other than the first third-party games being developed to integrate with the NightOwl platform, Spooky Hunt. So there's an update from those guys below, and more info on this soon. There's a Medium blog and social media post to follow. So here's a Spooky Ergo update.
That's exciting to see. First third-party collaboration with NightOwl. I'm kind of hoping that open source framework pulls in a lot of people that, not only could they use it for, additional use case, but it's also not a bad, marketing for whatever they're trying to put together. Looks like Spooky Hunt has added controllers for mobile devices. So far, it only works in landscape mode, but they are working on making it more responsive. Looks like also we increased Spooky and Priest speeds to make it faster to play and more enjoyable. They also updated their website with more information about their collaboration with NightOwl Casino and how the game will work there. A giveaway will take place in Twitter to celebrate their partnership.
It's awesome to watch. It's pretty cool artwork as well. Moving on, we have Chris Ray from Axel. So the transaction class has been completed or implemented. Fund and create loan and repayment initial test written. Fund and create loan repayment transaction has been built. And also like to congratulate the community coming together and funding the first iterations of the decentralized or the uncollateralized lending for those guys. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great to see. Pretty happy to see the community come together and fundraise for that, Looks like next we have Dimitri, Dead IT. He's been doing front-end work across the ecosystem. Looks like in Sigmaverse, he set up the admin panel, set up a CI/CD for the admin panel and Docker Compose, worked on setting up the domain for it. It looks like he fixed some issues in new CMs with adding new users. He set a default or set up a domain to start a migration from GitHub content to the database, and we'll add new content models to the database. On the website, he reviewed and merged Portuguese and Hungarian translations. He fixed issues with adding new translations. So if anybody out there speaks a dialect that the website doesn't support, please hop on and contribute. Looks like he also set up a 3-year anniversary website and fixed some content issues. So great work.
Yeah, if you haven't jumped on there, I encourage you to do so. It's pretty cool. It's got like a timeline of all the major sort of improvements or ecosystem developments throughout Ergo's life, and then also some little information cards and bits and pieces. It's pretty interactive. It's good, nice little resources that they've put together there. So moving on, we have Prag Maxime. So he's just been reworking the node feature about the ability of the node to share info about the REST API that make it publicly available, and as it's had a backward compatibility issue. And MHS with a update on Rosen.
Sure. So Rosen, they're integrating and deploying at the moment. The watchers are tested on their local mainnet that they've been playing with, and will soon be on the public testnet. Meanwhile, it looks like they've got an error in Ergo's multi-sig contracts for the guards. Looks like some Sigma rest error that I'm not going to even try to pick apart. Now they're investigating the error and talking to the related devs in this issue. Meanwhile, the integration of guard service is in progress. If we can pass the issue, the guard service is ready and to be deployed. So it looks like they've got everything pieced together other than that guard service error that they're running into. And we'll see them on the main testnet soon.
Yeah, there's a bit of interest here from the community as well, wanting updates. So it's great to hear that from MHS and his team. And we have Ilya from ErgoDex. So on ErgoDex itself, just working on a customizable liquidity mining protocol. Stable pools implementation is progressing. Found out that the current implementation of quantitative solutions gives very low precision on big reserve values. But on the UI front, just fix a couple of table bugs, liquidity page element display bugs, removed old app settings, fixed Ergo refund option behavior, fixed responsive design swap refund model display, and added a default list import tokens functionality to the Ergo network.
And I think we have ABC Chris with an update from Ergo Watch.
Yep.
So looks like they are putting together and have released Ergo Watch v0.4. They've added a few missing bits to the database: votes, network parameters, difficulty, and box sizes. And they're going to start working with enabling mining related metrics in the future. Actually, one time asked them for some mining metrics, and they're data analytics guys, so I had it in like an hour, like the chart. But I think they're actually going to try to support that in Ergo Watch, which is really valuable for miners to be able to come in, watch, look at different metrics, understand what's happening.
Yep, most definitely. There's just a little comment here as well from Sentient NFT, just having an off week. So take some time away, mate. So that sort of summarizes the weekly developer update. Another significant one, sort of everyone's just getting in and building with this sort of poor market sentiment. Everyone's just developing away. It's a great time to build.
Yeah, I always enjoy the development aspect of the Ergo community because, you don't have drama. We don't get caught up in the noise from outside. It's just, how do you build cool stuff? And whenever there's a mistake, we always have multiple people on it, and that hardens the network. That's kind of the beauty of open source in action. It's always painful to, have that mistake be found, and the user out there that got burned, I'm sorry for that. I hope the community takes good care of you. And it looks like people are stepping up and have, so I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, it's great to see, like you mentioned in the update as well, or in the intro, I'm not too sure, I can't remember now, one of the NFT projects offering to remint, and then I know another one was actually put it to a community vote. I'm not too sure of the outcome of that, but then also the community getting together and sending a multitude of NFTs to a wallet for that person as well. So it's great to see the Ergo community coming together.
Yeah, and I'm also pretty excited to see the same exact, let's say, group effort with Excel and getting some loans funded. I'm actually, I attended a meeting. It's kind of the fly on the wall, nothing important, but I wanted to see what they were doing, meet some of the people involved, and I was impressed. There's certainly a lot of passion to try to deliver value to people in Kenya. So I'm excited to see that come together.
Yeah, exactly. And it's quite a professional sort of outfit that they got going on there in regards to the training, and then the actual sort of documentation and the progression of the loans, the loan requests. It's good to see. It's quite professional sort of outfit that everyone's got together on both sides, and just opening up a dialogue, and hopefully they can see some funding in the future. It's great to see.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching another weekly developer update. It's been another pleasure bringing it to you with Armeanio. Thanks for joining.
Have a good one, everyone.
Take care.